Welcome to episode 11 of the Run for the Million preview here on Up for Discussion. Today we're highlighting our younger non-pro, Gina Schumacher, and her fabulous stallion, Gunnastepya. Gonna trash you out of SDP, a lasting step. This thing is bred incredibly well, has been trained better than incredibly well by Gina and Dwayne Latimer working together. And this team has been strong for years now, which is ironic considering the horse is only 7 years old. But it seems like they've been a power in this industry since 2021 at least. And this year they proved it by coming and winning the Run for the Million qualifier back in Arizona in March. And they also won that Open Derby there, the Level 4 Open Derby. Gina proved that on the right horse she can play with anybody in the Open. She's that good of a showman, and this horse is that good of a horse, and he's of a level right there near the top of this group of horses, which is saying a lot when you consider how deep this field is. So we're going to jump into that run at Cactus and go over things, and I'll give you my thoughts when we come back. Here we are in Cactus, watching Gina and Gunnastepya. This is the run where she won the Level 4 Derby and the Run for the Million qualifier. Spoiler alert, she marks a 2:30.5. This is probably the best run this horse ever had. And there's just little details I want you to notice, but we'll talk throughout the run about things technically, but there's also a detail here I want to notice, and that is this horse started at this turn out of position, and Gina just makes one little adjustment, and he flies back in and just fires. This thing is on the short list, even among this group of horses that is this elite, as one of the best turners in this class. He's on that Patriot, lefty, gambler, downright amazing. He's on that level of turner. And probably his best maneuver is the way he gets around. I love this horse. And he's one of those that he can be that athletic, that fast, and make it look that simple. Now, the horse shines in the turns, and Gina does as well because of her feel. But this is where Gina shines, is circling one. Because she will run one on the edge and is one of the better people at finding that edge and so rarely going over it and staying right there. Her horse is always right. Everything looks good. And it's almost this combination of she has so much faith in how good this horse is going to be that allows her to be this fearless. But I've seen her do it on other horses too. It's just, I think he has so much trust in her that it's almost a good positive reinforcement effect where they just work so well together. And I mean, you can talk technically about this horse, but what about him don't you like? And I'll point out the one thing that was brought up to me. It doesn't bother me at all, but I know some people who it does bother, and that is every once in a while you'll see this horse get a little gappy in his mouth. But if you really watch close, it's not when Gina pulls on him. It is when her hand is down is actually when he does it, and he's just kind of adjusting himself. I consider it more of a nervous tick, and I don't see a problem with it. I mean, this is so good. Even if you have a problem with it, you're still rewarding it, and it is such a good quality slowdown. This thing attacks everything it does. And the rider, Gina, does too. She pushes for everything she's got on this horse, and this horse does everything that it can for her and is so it's so broke, right between the lines, everything you want. I can talk about this horse all day. I love this animal. He's one of my favorites in the field. Now, I want you to notice something, and I'm as you know, I'm obsessed with front feet. Watch this horse's cadence here. It's a little unique in that he almost looks like he pulls himself through the ground instead of floating on the ground as he stops. Really good rollback. But his cadence, his feet almost get out in front of him, almost like he's grabbing and pulling at the ground instead of just stepping on it as he goes over it. Like it's a very unique look, and it's such a breakdown. It happens so fast you don't always notice it. But when you're in the moment and you're able to watch these videos back like this, you really can notice what's going on, and it's really fun to watch. And that one's even better. That's a monster stop. Monster stop, good rollback. I think the left rollback's a little better, but still, I mean, this horse has, with the lateral move he makes in the turnaround and the first rollback, I have no doubt he can even snap through that right rollback harder. And this stop is big, big, big. But same thing. He'll get his front feet out in front of him and almost pull himself through the ground. And it's just so cool watching that. And then he gets back. And little thing about this run, and I don't know if Casey will admit to saying it, but he said it. I heard him say it to a few people, but they marked her a 2:30.5, and Casey Deary was at the back gate talking to me right after this run, and he said they marked her a 30.5, and they should have marked her higher. I don't know if I agree with it. I think that the 30.5 was more than fair. I think these guys did a great job. But it's one of the great runs you'll ever see, and it's probably the greatest non-pro run I've ever seen. As you can tell, I am a big fan of this horse. For as little as I know her, I'm also a big fan of Gina, because watching her show and watching her interact with her horses and with the other people around her, she seems like she's just a phenomenal person to be around. And I'm very, very excited to watch her show this horse every time it steps in the pen, especially when there's this much on the line, because I know she has that fearless tenacity that will send one to the edge without going over the edge. It's whether it wins or not, this might get the award for most exciting run of the night, no matter what happens. And that's always something that's got a spot in my heart. I love exciting runs. I love it when it works, and I think this one has the possibility of being that exciting, and it has the possibility of working. And I'm betting you it will be deafening when this pair runs in the pen in Vegas. That's my thoughts. It's much more unorganized than most others because this horse just provides more of a feeling than anything technical, although it's awesome technically. And with that, I don't really have a good wrap-up for this one, so I'm just going to tell you guys again, thank you for watching, and we will move forward to tomorrow in episode 12 and continue commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you tomorrow for episode 12.